You see, this is at the second changeover point, so from the back straight into the bend. And here's the Canadian team, going to be led off by Savannah Blair into Diana Proctor, Odiaza and Tedger. For the Swiss team, Timea Rankel into Leah Thalman, Chloe Rabach and Alicia Massini. And the Jamaican team, so slick with their baton changes yesterday. Shanoya Michaela Douglas leading off into Aaliyah Baker, Brianna Campbell and Alana Reid bringing it home. For the US team, this is Jade Brown leading them off. She will hand to Santera James, Avery Lewis and Taylor Schneer bringing it home. Alexandra Stoilova will lead off the Australian quartet, handing the baton to Tori Lewis, silver medalist in the 200 yesterday, Olivia Rose Inkster and Jessica Milat. And for the Puerto Rican team, Legne Echevarria, handing into Frances Colon, Amanda Andino and Karina Franceschi. For the Ukrainian team, this is Anna Karandakova. Hand it over to Diana Miroshenko, Yuliana Stepaniuk and Alina Kishkina. The Polish team, Olivia Zimolag, she will hand over to Klaudia Kristatek, Inga Kanitska and Jagoda Zukowska. Baton changes so crucial. It was a good start for the US team. They are blazing around, trying to make up the ground on the Jamaican team outside of them into the first changeover. Good changeover for the Jamaicans. A little bit sticky on the Americans. That enabled the Australians to get back into the competition on their inside. Here's this changeover. Again, great changeover from the Jamaicans. A good changeover and better, I think, from the Americans. Swiss team are also right up in there. This is where the Jamaicans were ahead at this point yesterday. And the American runner's gone too soon. That puts the Australian team in the lead, but Alana Reid, a look across, puts it into full throttle charging for that line and brings home that gold medal for Jamaica. It is the Swiss team celebrating a bronze medal performance courtesy of the baton exchange on that final exchange for the American team. We get another look at that. That is Avery Lewis coming in to hand the baton to Taylor Schneer. I think it might have been that Taylor Schneer went a little bit too soon. There is the result. It was a gold medal performance for Jamaica. Australian taking the silver and the Swiss team, and you can see what it means to them to take that bronze medal.
When you watch an Olympic or World Championship senior relay 4x1, you have to remember that they train all year round as a squad together. These have qualified in the last few weeks and have maybe only trained together since they got into Lima. So it's a little bit rough and ready at times, and the checkpoints and the takeoffs also betray a little bit of nerves of youth, don't they? I think when we watched the USA on this last leg, that's what happened.
Yeah,
went too soon.
I think we are also hearing that there is a changeover under review for the Australian team at the moment as well. We did see yesterday just how well the Jamaicans did exchange the baton here, so you can see the outgoing US athlete Taylor Schneer does go a little bit too soon there, and she has to stop, break down, don't exchange the baton in time. That exchange was good there for Australia, and for Jamaica, extremely slick. The Swiss chasing hard at this point. I don't think they could believe their luck, but Alana Reid really away clear, has time for a look across just to check who is there for company inside. And it was the Australians in that silver medal position.
The Australian handover was this one. I think it was way long. Oh no, it's the second one. It's 2 to 3. There's a bit of a juggle here as well. They'll laugh about it in future years, but not tonight.
They really won't tonight.
Lane 4, Jamaica expected to put out a fabulous time here. Nelson, White, Birchall, McGregor, their squad. Scotland, they will be quick as well. Singapore and India, and the Indian squad with their tails up. Who knows what they can do? On paper, they may qualify, but frankly, with the advantage of some fabulous results bolstering their spirits this morning by other members of their team, we may see India outperform themselves here. So, the Jamaicans, lead-off athlete, that's Nelson, just adjusting her blocks. England took gold 4 years ago on the Gold Coast ahead of Jamaica, and Nigeria in third.
Well, they're still going through their preparations, so let's return our attention to this hammer competition. Meanwhile, the women getting ready for the first of the 2 semi-finals, top 3 in each going through to the big showdown.
Well, Jamaica were champions in Scotland in 2014 in those wonderfully organised games in Glasgow, but beaten by England. Bit of an upset that 4 years ago. They'll want to get back on the top of the rostrum, but first they must get that baton round these 4 athletes. Baton speed is critical. The changeovers need to be smooth, and you can quite often in relays get a squad of moderate talents defeating a squad of super talents if the changeovers are strong. If you can maintain baton speed through keeping it really smooth changeovers, then you can quite often get some rather strange results. Here's the lead-off athlete for the India, Chand. She'll hand over to Das, then Nanda and Iraji. On the outside, they can focus on their own job. The Indian record, 43.37. Singapore go in lane 6. Pereira will hand over to Zaini, then Chandran and Liu.
In lane 5,
Scotland, always good carriers of the baton at the Commonwealth Games. Matheson, Rees, Malone and Spence, their quartet.
In 4,
The Jamaicans, well, they start as favourites here, surely, with Nelson, White, Birchall and McGregor making up their foursome. Their national record, 41.02.
In 3, Azapadi, Richards, Sukuna and Wingfield.
Here is the Maltese quartet, and the lead-off runner, Azapadi. She'll hand over to Richards, Skikluna and Wingfield. And then the Maldives on the inside with Hussein, Mohammed, Hassan and Mohammed again making up their foursome.
The first 3 automatically make the final, plus the next 2 fastest across the 2 heats.
Well, the second fastest time ever is by Jamaica. That was last year at the Olympic Games, 41.02. Only the USA have ever gone under 41 seconds. Anything down in the low 42s is very, very crisp. In fact, only Jamaica have been down there. The Scottish record, for example, 44.35 is the Scottish best this season, 44.35. The first of 2 heats in the women's 4x100 metres. Then the first 3 teams go through by right to tomorrow's final. Maldives in 2, Malta 3, Jamaica going 4 in the yellow, Scotland in 5, Singapore 6, India 7. Away they go, and already Jamaica making up ground on Scotland. Centre of picture. Jamaica almost up alongside Matheson of Scotland. It's been a brilliant leg from Nelson. A safe changeover, not a fast changeover from the Jamaicans. The Scots pretty much matched them, but down the back straight, the second leg runner from Jamaica moving really well at the moment. That is White. She hands over. That was a good changeover from the Jamaicans. Scotland in second, going really well. On the outside, India going pretty well too. It's Jamaica from India at the moment. India having a really good run here. Their backs are up as Jamaica taken over on the final leg. Down the home straight, looking really strong. It's McGregor now, storming away with this. That's an 8 or 9 metre winning margin. India comfortably second, Scotland in third, and a really close battle for the fourth places there, but 43-66 by Jamaica there. Well, it was a safe squad that got it round well enough. Let's hope there are no red flags and that all the changeovers were good for every team. But that was a huge winning margin and an equally huge gap behind India, Rob.
Yes, Scotland getting the best of that battle for the third spot. Wingfield was finishing very quickly for Malta on the anchor leg. The Indians had a very sluggish changeover from third to anchor, but how well did they go down the back straight? They've taken second. Scotland have gone through by a couple of tenths of a second. Singapore and Malta very, very close behind, but we will see the Scottish quartet in the final. The Jamaicans are so good. They've got such a great reputation. The Olympic champions, the silver medalists in Eugene, gold in Glasgow, and they've got Elaine Thompson-Herah, who they can draft into the final. Not a bad name to add to the list, a four-time individual Olympic champion.
Yeah, Thompson-Herah has looked superb all week, hasn't she? Getting fitter all the time. That was a safe changeover from the Indians on the outside. I expected a little more from Scotland. I thought they'd be closer to India, that's for sure. But look at this changeover from Scotland. Oh, awful changeover, final changeover there from Scotland. Looked to me like the outgoing runner went off a little bit early for them. That was Spence. Indeed, they're only just ahead of Singapore, and you'd expect from a world-drilled squad like the Scots a bigger margin. But they are through safely. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah, so
Jamaica,
good, the
India
Jamaicans.
and Scotland.
So good, the Jamaicans. You could see Spence coming under a little bit of pressure there for that third spot with the fast finish of Wingfield from Malta. Watch this last changeover for the Indians, just on the left of picture. Took them a while. Can't quite see her, and also, as you said, it was a little bit sluggish from the Scots, but poetry in motion, the Jamaican quartet, and they will be smarting after finishing second to the United States in Eugene. But despite the fact that we've got great teams going in the second of the heats, England as the defending champions, the Jamaicans would surely line up as the joint favourites at least.
And England, well, they've swapped victories at the Commonwealth Games with Jamaica. The last four editions have gone Jamaica, England, Jamaica, England. Jamaica, of course, as Rob rightly pointed out, can break through by right.
The women's 4x100 meters relay, whether at junior or senior level, remains the purest test of sprinting harmony. Speed alone is never enough. Timing, trust, and composure under pressure decide everything. That reality was exposed brutally in two very different races: the Under-20 World Championships relay final and the 2022 Commonwealth Games semifinal in Birmingham. At the Under-20 World Championships, Jamaica once again demonstrated why relay running is embedded in its sprinting culture. From the first exchange to the final straight, their performance was controlled, fluid, and confident. The defining moment came on the anchor leg, where Alana Reid took command of the race. Her closing leg wasn't just fast, it was composed. With clean positioning and flawless baton reception, Reid powered away from the field, sealing victory and underlining Jamaica's depth at youth level. The baton never broke rhythm, and that continuity turned raw speed into dominance. The United States, by contrast, offered a painful reminder of how unforgiving relay racing can be. Their lineup featured strong individual talent, starting with Jade Brown, followed by Kante James and Avery Lewis. But the final exchange unraveled everything. Anchor runner Taylor Schnee left too early, forcing Lewis to hesitate mid-zone. That split second of confusion erased medal hopes instantly, dropping the U.S. team to 6th place. It was not a failure of speed, but of synchronization, a costly lesson at the highest level. That same contrast appeared, in a more controlled form, during the women's 4x100m heat at the 2022 Commonwealth Games. Jamaica entered the semifinal as clear favorites, backed by history and experience. Their lineup, Nelson, White, Burkill, and McGregor, did not produce the fastest early exchange of the night, but they delivered something more important: security. Every pass was measured, every acceleration disciplined. While Scotland and India showed impressive early competitiveness and matched Jamaica stride for stride in the opening phases, they lacked the same margin for error under sustained pressure. The difference between these races tells a clear story. Jamaica does not rely on perfection, they rely on systems. Even when exchanges aren't spectacular, they are safe. The U.S. junior team, despite immense talent, paid the price for one moment of misjudgment. Across both competitions, the message is unmistakable. In the 4x100 meters, medals are won not by the fastest runners, but by the calmest teams.